Laws here. Created chaos to bring the national guards here. Now they direct all they hate to Chicago. They try and do us like Katrina in Chicago. I told people this in 2017. You know what I'm saying? 2017. These are my rhymes, y'all. Welcome to class, family. These are my rhymes, y'all. You know, I've always taught over the music. I've always taught to individuals. You know, but we in the end game now. The Kundalini energy is rising, so more individuals are awakening. You know, I've been getting a lot of people hit me up. They've been playing old music. Like, man, God, you was really talking a minute ago. But see, like I say, when they wanted me to sell my soul in the industry, my music, y'all see my music the stuff I was talking about in my music. That's why they wanted me to dumb down my music. I never do it, y'all. And I ain't gonna stop making music neither. You know, music is a form of healing. So, you know, my baby mom stopped that, you know, for that whole year. But my wife, you know, she like, babe, keep doing that. I was just gonna teach y'all, you know, teach my people. That's all I care about. But then, you know, a lot of my people around me like, man, you still teaching us God when you putting the music out. So don't never stop doing that. It's not like you teaching us one thing and then when you get on the music, like fuck them bitches. You know, you ain't moving like that. So I get it now, y'all. I get what I got to do for the planet to help our people. I got to teach through the music in these lectures. So I just appreciate the ancestors. And I appreciate my wife. And I appreciate y'all for, you know, y'all be listening. Y'all be like, man, keep going. God put that out. We need that in. We need that high frequency. So, you know, we going to do that regardless. But before we get dive, before we get to rolling, it's imperative that we open up the university with the right energy. You know, we ain't been able to go live. We got the website back in order. You know, called the text. It was down for a couple of days. Definitely when the power outage happened, we was still good and going. We was still good and going right here on the website. That's what I did. Like, even though we didn't get to go live that night. So I did go live yesterday, like for 4 hours straight. That was my way of just, you know, trying to awaken our people. As you can see, I don't have my crystals on. I'm cleansing them right now. Because we're going to need to, you got your crystals, cleanse them. Make sure you cleanse them, let them breathe, let them air out. I just want to say I appreciate y'all. You know, everybody in the university, before we even roll into this lecture real quick, because we're doing 3 today. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for actually tapping into this intellect and spreading these messages. You feel me? Like, y'all spreading the messages on a different level right now. And that's the ancestors working for y'all. All right, so, you know, we do need to be linking. We do need to organize. We do need to become more effective. You know, we have almost 15,000 members. Y'all got the app, so for those of you who got the app, you can see the members as they grow as well. Some of you been here since we only had 5 members on this website. So it ain't about numbers. It's not about analytics. It's about we want to reach as many people as we can. We want to wake up as many of the guys and goddesses as we can. You know, that's what it's about. Y'all seen the mess with live feeds, be it publicly or even right here on the website. We know who run the matrix. We know who own the airwaves down here in this matrix, and that's AT&T. You know, we know who owns AT&T. Okay, so that's why it's in game right now, because you know these people took everything from us. They own the water. They call that maritime admiralty law. They own the airwaves. Shout out to AT&T. You know, they own the land, you know, and they own the fire. The natural fire that comes from our land, they own, you know, because they took everything from us. So the more we tune in, the more we research, the more you all go deep within yourselves. Like right now, we need to be in the deepest of meditative states. We definitely need to be holding mass meditation, so we're going to start back doing that publicly. But I mean, like, we need to be linking. It's time to link now, y'all. Like, it's time for us to come together in the physical, you know, and we was already moving to that era, to that energy. But, you know, the thing is, when we public, we got to be careful what we saying out there publicly. We have to be careful what we're putting out there, because when we are public, everybody not with us, y'all. That's why when I get in here, I like to be more serious than I'll be public. And I'll laugh a little more joke, because in here I want to get deep. Okay, bro, I talk my shit, y'all. I know I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna be Rashad Jamal regardless. But what I'm saying is, and here is where you could come and just focus. When we public, you can't do that. You got people joining, they don't know what's going on. You got people trolling. That's why I keep the comments cut off. I mean, you can see them if you got your a tablet. You can pull up. You can see people commenting as they go. You can see that though. But I personally like to keep them cut off so y'all can't really see them like that on the actual feed. Because on the website, it's not about that. It's not about likes. This ain't about comments. This ain't about views on here. On here, it's all about us coming together, fully focusing on the information that's being presented to us right here, right now. You know, this is the family, y'all. I like all the guys and goddesses in Memphis. They've been linking up. Other guys in VA and goddesses have been linking up. That's what we got to do. You know, we going to link up little fortresses and then we'll make it all connect back to me. So I'll still be in tune with everybody. But we going to need different guys and guys from each state that's willing to be the governor of that state. We get our own governor. Okay, you the governor. That don't mean you the big I little you, but you the lead orchestrator. You might have a little more intel and information so you can teach. Like I'm finna start, you know, like certain guys and guys is giving them certain information that I haven't put out there just so that they can teach it to the others in their state. We gotta spread this, y'all. These people ain't playing with us, man. They not. They never was. But they desperate right now. And at any moment, they gonna strike. It's gonna happen all of a sudden. We won't have a time to link. We ain't gonna have time. That ain't how it's gonna happen. Arm yourselves physically and mentally and spiritually. You should be working out, fasting, water dieting. We finna start back our workout tomorrow, like going hard with it, like we was. You know, loving your babies. Sitting with your kids, your families, explaining to them how to react if the military come to your house. Are you prepared right now? If they came to your house and surrounded it, are you prepared right now? Or are you hoping that shit don't happen? It's the difference. If the military was to come to your door, they gonna surround your house. Cause they want to make sure that you don't run out the back. And they got to make sure that you vaccinated. See, we ain't got to say jab on here. We can say vaccination and fuck that vaccination. We can say it clearly on here. There's no words that's shocking the algorithm. If we say this word, now can't nobody. And even in the forum, y'all Facebook the forum. Post y'all content. Post y'all downloads. If there's people in here talking about they can sing and rap, post that shit. Long as you talk about some high frequency, we need it. All of you with talent, artists, nurses, all of y'all, healers, put it in the forum. Let people know what you could do. Let us know so we can come together. We building right now. We building right now. The planet coming back to us, but it starts here. We're building. We're supporting each other. You get what I'm saying? That was my vision for starting a university. For it to reach hundreds of millions of souls, and we all come together and we unite and we support each other and deeply understand one another and promote each other to do each other's chosen soul contract mission to fulfill it. You know, I'm willing to lose my avatar for each and every one of y'all. You know, that's just not the people in the university. I'm talking about our species as a whole, our planet as a whole. But we can't have it just me feeling that way. I'm not saying it's just me, but I'm making a point. It shouldn't be just me. It shouldn't be just I, rather. I don't like me. Me is the ego, I is the soul. You should feel just as adamantly as I feel about this. That's how we win. And we protect each other, because we all we got. Nah, you ain't finna do shit to her. You ain't finna do shit to him. We coming. The God's guys, we coming. See what I'm saying? They think they seen something with what's going on with my situation. Over 5,000 people done called down there. And we had motherfucker that already pulled up down there, damn near, and ready to pull up. It ain't just gonna stop right there. We finna do that with every God and every goddess. On every situation. It took that to make us get more militantly organized. Because I didn't call the guys and guys. I just told y'all what it was at first and how I was moving. And y'all was already with me. Then the legal team was like, okay, well, let's move effective. Had them call up there. Apply that type of pressure first. Y'all was with that. But we can't just stop right here with Rashad Jamal. We got to do this for all our people. You get what I'm saying? Anytime we start see cops abusing people, we need to go Black Panther, start patrolling. I'm ready to patrol the police. I'm ready to patrol the police. We don't need no laws. We don't need y'all to tell us what we can and can't do. We don't honor no black and white. We gods and goddesses. Y'all black and white ain't never did nothing but hold us back. They don't love our people, y'all. We should have learned this in their schools if they loved us, y'all. That's free to give us information. To make us chase our tails for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 generations. We chasing our tails for answers that our oppressor had the whole time. Think about that. We've been right here chasing our motherfucking tails 9 generations. 9 for answers the oppressor already has. Now we rise. Your ancestors wouldn't have never went for this, y'all. And we not gonna go for it. They wouldn't have went for this shit in the 60s, nigga. And that was a softer generation than ancestors that was in other eras. See what I'm saying? And look how they moved in the 60s. Look how they moved in the 50s. Look how they moved in the 1800s. Look how they moved in the 1700s. We know time not real, but since they made it up, let's walk down their timeline. We know time ain't real. We know these motherfuckers went back and wrote themselves in our history books. We know that. But let's go back down their timeline. Any era you go to, we was revolting. Nigga, but after the 1960s, we got soft. We got weak. We became scared. For what? So scared that we don't even talk to the lions no more. So scared that we don't even talk to the ants anymore. We don't even talk to the wind, fire, the water, earth herself, the soil herself, planet Kai herself. Oh, how we have fallen from who we are. There was no fear there before 1960. But when they took all our great leaders and hung them in front of us, that's what put the fear in there. They took a whole lot of people out in that era. A whole lot of organizations and leaders. Then they left us with the 70s. Where they made it okay to disrespect our goddesses and ourselves. The 80s brought in crack. The 90s brought in gang banging. The 2K brought in cliques and sets and no structure from these organizations. And here we are today. I've always told you, you can't look at no motherfucking tree and figure out where it came from by looking at the branch. If you want to know that tree, you got to look at the roots it sprang from. The seeds that this tree sprouted from. Are you willing to go that deep? Are you willing to dig that deep? Because if you do, you're going to find out the secrets to that tree of life. And because you don't recognize that tree, you don't recognize the elemental beings. You never met the fairies. See how that layer right into the subject matter of the lecture? So before we get all the way rolling, let me first start by saying peace to the gods and goddesses of planet Kai. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. All right? This lecture and everyone is brought to you by our ancestors, the creators, the Most High, which is the Supreme Council of 9, and us, the people, which is you. That includes you. As we step in this lecture, we bring in the spirits of Mama Oya and Papa Ogun. For these are the energies that I'm working with right now on this particular lecture. They are with me, they are with you, they are with us. We are them, they are us. Descendants of cosmic royalty, that which we are. I want to send my deepest of insights to the elders 65 and older within the university. We appreciate you for tuning into every lecture and actually implementing these lessons and being humble, meek enough to accept them from somebody a lot younger than yourself. I'm an old soul though, but in the physical, my physical avatar is younger than yours. So I appreciate that. We appreciate you. We gonna get it together. We know the elders don't get respected, but that's okay. That's why Rashad Jamal is here, to connect that dot to the youth, because they don't know that. They don't know that. We ain't teach them that. Them are our kids. 80s babies, 90s babies, these are our kids running the street. We ain't teach them shit. Most of us didn't. Because our parents ain't teach us. So elders, y'all know this. Y'all know this deeply. Y'all know this deeply. To my peers, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, we appreciate you deeply. So you know, but the deepest the insight, we the bridge, like I always tell you, so you know our role and what we got to do. To my peers, be ready. When war come to you, defend yourself, defend your home, defend your family, defend your species and your people. Move very aggressive when it comes to defense. They hurting our kids, our goddesses, and our species. It's time for the divine masculine energy to rise up and protect. Be the warrior that you came here as. You ain't scared of shit, black God. No, you ain't. You ain't never been scared of nothing but that white man. You see how that work? Put anything in front of a black man, he'll take it head on. Working 9 to 5, baby mama drama, beefing with his family, jail time, selling drugs, shootouts, clubbing, going broke, then getting the money back, then going broke to get the money back again. You can damn near put anything in front of a black god or Latino god. He ain't scared of it. But when it comes to these white crackers who control the narrative through their man-made heinous laws that were written by their forefathers, who had nothing but hatred and malice and degradation in their heart to the deepest extent, in the abyss of their spirit, because they are soulless beings. These are the individuals who wrote the law that we now try to follow today. It's time to rise up, God. You ain't never been no bitch. So don't start being one now when our goddesses need us and our kids need us, man. And Rashad Jamal can't do it alone. It's going to always be we. It's going to always be a committee. It's going to always be us. Are you willing to accept that challenge? To the youth, you got a job to do. I understand y'all. I love y'all. I rock with y'all. 21 and under. Y'all spreading the information crazy. Y'all teaching other kids in y'all classes as young as 2nd grade. Yes. Yes. Question the fuck out y'all teachers in school. Question them. They tell you dumb shit, raise your hand. Ask as many questions as you want to. I don't give a fuck how mad they get. And if they get mad, then your answer go, young God, young goddess. What you get mad for? I just got questions. I just got questions. Why so serious? Watch the way they react to you. Just for asking questions. Because I've been that young one in class before that was attacked for asking questions. Make them sweat. Make these teachers say, you know what? God damn it, I'm finna quit my job because my head hurt because these kids got me asking me questions that I never even thought the answer to. Most of these school teachers, they don't know shit. They were trained to teach you the lies that they were taught. Let me repeat that. Most of these teachers don't know shit. What can they teach you? Nothing but the lies that was taught to them by their oppressor. A real teacher would never work in the educational field because we know it's bullshit. And I'll be damned if I sit here and lie to these youth, lie to these babies, corrupt their souls and their minds for a motherfucking paycheck. But you call yourself a teacher. You call yourself caring for our youth. But you let these white crackers pay you to lie and destroy the brains and the souls of your own babies. Give a fuck where you teach. Harvard, Duke, U of I, a top high school, it don't matter. What are you teaching is all that matters. No matter where you teach, we don't care about your credentials, your academic credentials, none of that. What are you teaching in class to our babies? All right? So, I want to talk about the fairies, and I'm going to get right to it. Butterflies and dragonflies are fairies. And when you're vibrating low, this doesn't mean you're a bad person. But when your vibration is low, you're only able to see certain things. I think we have to remember that the 3D has been destroyed. All right? There's no more 3D. Most people are either stuck on 4D or they still stuck in that 3D that has been destroyed. So they're not even here. They don't even see you. Awoken one, chosen one. Why do they get so mad when we say shit that they don't agree with? They physical body here, but they soul gone. They soul gone. Their mind is gone. So they gone. They stuck in 3D. When the Lion Gates portal came, AA, you had to make a decision. If you was going to sin at least the minimum 5D, or you going to stay in 3D, which was evaporating about a minute. I told y'all we completely destroyed the Lion Gates portal, and we did that. That wasn't just talk. That was real. I'm vibrating at 11D right now. Others are vibrating this. You got people here vibrating at 20D, 21, as high as the 21st dimension. I'm in the 11th dimension right now in the physical. But at the lowest, you should be no lower than the 5th right now. And if the people that's on 4D, they stuck there as well. These are a lot of your souls, the soul, they soul. And they stuck there waiting for everything to end so that they can have a chance to try to get back. Not knowing that once you steal your soul, you'll never get back. You just stuck there. All right? And we are walking into the end game, and you will see beings and things that existed that you never knew. A lot of your animals are not what you think they are. You hear me? A lot of these animals are not what you think they are. The lion don't look like the lion. The bird don't look like the bird. But when you was on 3rd dimension, that dragon that was a dragon looked like a bird to you in the 3rd dimension. You can't get rid of things, but you can max them as the frequency rises or lowers. Same thing with the fairies. They've been around you your whole life. You didn't think they existed. But butterflies and dragonflies are fairies. when you're stuck in 3D, or even coming up 4D, 5D, they gonna still look like butterflies and dragonflies. But they're not at all. They are a part of the elemental beings. They are fairies. And as you go to, once you get to about 8D, 9D, the ninth dimension, you can see them for what they are. They really fairies. They look just like us. They just got wings and they smaller. That's why when you look at the butterfly's body, it's like a little person just with two antennas. Little skinny person with two antennas and some wings. Go look at the dragonfly. It's like a little person with a little tail and some wings. But the dragonfly and the butterfly vibrates at the same frequency the bee does. The honeybee vibrates at 550 hertz. Actually, dragonflies and butterflies vibrate at 600 hertz or better. They vibrate a little higher than the bees do. Because bees are a part of the elemental beings as well. They're related to them, but they are not elemental beings. They are part of the family, but they are not them. They are still insects. They are still insects. And see, fairies, these butterflies, why do you think the butterfly goes through metamorphosis? It starts off as a caterpillar and then completely changes to something else. It's the only animal that does that. And dragonflies do the same. You'll never see any other animal start off as one thing and change to a caterpillar is something completely different from a butterfly. When they in caterpillar form, that's 2D. That's the first dimension and the second dimension. And then as they raise their frequency, we see them and they turn into these butterflies that's flying. Fairies are shapeshifters. So they are able to change their shape. On the first dimension and the second dimension, and even the third, and it was first and second dimension, that fairy is going to shapeshift and is going to appear to be a caterpillar. Once by the time you hit the third and fourth dimension, fifth dimension, even six, right? It shapeshifts again, and it appears as this beautiful butterfly or this dragonfly. And each dimension they change their shape. You get back up to the 33rd dimension, these fairies big as you. But each dimension they get, as the dimensions lower, they get smaller, smaller, and they shape change. And as the dimensions rise, they get bigger, bigger, and they shape change. Why do you think it was a spurt for about 10 years when you didn't even see butterflies like that no more? Growing up, you seen the butterflies all the time. And then it's like a spurt from 2000 all the way for a minute when you didn't even see them like that. You seen them, but not as many. Now look, the last 2 years, you see so many butterflies and they get so big. You ever wonder why they get so big and beautiful and they got all these beautiful colors on their wings? You ever wonder like, how the fuck they got these beautiful colors on their wings? Why do butterflies look so majestic? How does a butterfly make you feel? You don't get scared. You feel at home. It's a beautiful sight to see a butterfly just floating in the ether. Because it's not an insect. It's a fairy. It's an elemental being. It's an elemental being. The same thing with the dragonfly. You ever notice how big they get? Did you ever notice how they fly? And they got 4 sets of wings, just like fairies did in the movies they showed you. The butterfly too. You see 2 wings. That's 4 wings. One up top, one up bottom. Then on the other side of the butterfly, one up top, one up bottom. Notice the way dragonflies hover in front of your car. You never noticed that, how they hover. What do you think they doing when they hover? You ever been sitting in that park and then dragonfly just come and they just hover in front of your car? You're like, what the fuck is it in front of my car for? I don't have ain't no food right here, no none of that. Because dragonflies are fairies. They feed frequency to the atmosphere. That's what fairies do. And they are also able to take you to different dimensions and grant you wishes and things like that. Butterflies as well. They are watchers over the realm, protectors. And you never seen a butterfly outside at night. We wonder why. Because they are light workers. They are the real light workers. So you will only see them when it's a beautiful sun out or it's a lot of light out. Because of the color spectrum. Remember, all things come from the color black. The fairies' job is to watch the frequency and to guide souls to their higher selves. Butterflies don't come to you unless you're on a certain frequency. You got people that don't even see butterflies at all because they on a low ass frequency. These are fairies hidden from you. Go watch Pan's Labyrinth. They show you about all these different beings that they appear one way, that they shapeshift. They don't like you to be in communication with these beings. That's why you're going to notice. You're going to see more dragonflies around water than you will on land. Him on the land, but go by some water, you'll see a lot of them. Because water keeps intent going. Water is a powerful element. So dragonflies going to surround themselves with that element. Butterflies as well. Like, if you're not on a certain, once again, certain vibration, you're not even going to see the butterfly. And when you do see butterflies, it's a lot of sun out, and they like to be around what? A lot of soil, a lot of green, beautiful grass, a lot of plants. Why? Because plants are full of electricity, high powers of electricity. That's what the trees are. Cell phone towers. Before we had a cell phone tower, the trees act as energy beacons that's sticking out the soil. That's the purpose of a tree. It's the whole purpose of a tree. That's why they cut our original ones down. So you got to understand that butterflies understand that, all right? So they kind of help guard the Akashic records, stop the wrong souls and spirits from accessing them. They also help you with your ascension. There's like people that use when that whole idea of the tooth fairy and stuff like that. That started from true stories where, you know, back then we were more tuned in and people was aware of it. So they would see these fairies. And the whole idea of, oh, your tooth come out and you put the tooth under the pillow and then the fairy take the tooth and give you some money, that's a lie. But it's not a lie when they talking about the whole story of you taking your tooth, something you lost, filled with blood, which is your spirit, and leaving it. And then a fairy coming along and taking that and using that as a sort of a offering to be invited into your spiritual energy. You see, it's no different than leaving out medals for Ogun or leaving out offerings for Oya, or as the Christians would call it, eating of the flesh and drinking of the blood of Jesus Christ. Anytime you come to principalities and spiritual forces and you wanna come with offerings, why? Not no blood sacrifices. You don't need that. That's bullshit. When you hear anything involving blood sacrifices, animals being killed, that's all you know who involved. That's Satan. But when you go to the elements or the elemental beings of your ancestors, you want to give them something. The offering is just a sign of gratitude to show that you understand that they actually exist. So would you go to your friend and just always ask and ask and ask and ask, but never do shit for your friend? You wouldn't do that. So you wouldn't do that with the Orishas. You wouldn't do that with the ancestors. You wouldn't do that with your creators. You wouldn't do that with... So you want to give something. It's the energy. It's magic. You want to give and receive. That's the whole point of making offerings. Because you're giving, because you're asking them to give you something. So you got to give them something. That's only fair. You give them something, they give you something. So when you give them something, they receive it. And then when they give you something, you receive. So You have just given and received, and so did the deity, principality, Orisha, angels, ancestors, elemental beings, or whoever you're working with, whatever you're dealing with. You never just take, 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 take. That's the whole purpose of the tooth fairy story. But fairies exist, and they all around you. And then they come in more than one shape than just a butterfly and a dragonfly. Why do you think the Asians hold the dragonfly in such reverence? When you think of peace, fairies that vibrate so high, so when you see a butterfly, you be peaceful. A dragonfly, peace. Even when you think of peace, they always gonna show you rainbows, sunshine, dolphins jumping out the water, and butterflies. Those are all signs of serenity. Those are all symbols of serenity, but you never ask why. And everything I named, the rainbow, Stargate, to the higher dimensions. The dolphin, they the nomos. They're not even from this planet. The sun, we created that. That's you. That's your creation up there beaming down on you. And even the butterflies and the dragonflies. Fairies. Let him who has eyes see clearly. We got class back here at 6:30. I will see y'all soon. I want y'all to go research dragonflies and butterflies. Meet the fairies. Now we rise. One.